So let's see maintenant about his life, all the details, right? Sorry. Donc, his birth, we said he was born on 23rd November 1926. It was about 5 a.m. in the morning, 5 to 5:02 a.m. The passing away, which we call the parinirvan, happened when he was 84, right? At the age, on 25th April 2011. Okay, quite recent. And he was 84 at that time. 84 is, it is said, a very good age. No, good age in the sense, je pas écrire ça là dans le devoir, but si un démon vit jusqu'à 84, it is best. I will send you that video of Sadhguru where he explains that. Parce que fait beaucoup, all the cycles which happen. Maybe I won't be able to explain the way Sadhguru can. So you watch it, I'll send you. He was born in Puttaparthi, the village. Original name we said Satyanarayan Raju. He was the spiritual teacher and he is the incarnation of Kalki, what we call Kalki avatar. Now, he was born in the family called the Ratnakar family. Ratnakar family, right? Ratnakar, c'est bien sûr descendant, c'est the lineage Ratnakar. They were great devotees of God. Nitzina and Pardada don't faire even meditation. He was a sage, right? The Ratnakar family, a very blessed family. So none realized then indeed for a long time that divinity had incarnated in human form, that is Sri Satya Sai divinity, incarnated in human form as Ratnakar, Venkata or Venkat, Satyanarayan Raju. Okay, ça c'était so Pardada. So Papa, grandson of Kodamma Raju and son of Peda Venkama Raju and Ishwaramma. Ishwaramma was the mother, right? And so Papa c'était Peda Venkama Raju, grandson of Kodamma Raju. And as I told you, the Ratnakar Venkat say the sage, I told you just earlier, the sage who was actually doing meditation. He comes from that family, a very blessed family. When we take birth, we the humans or any life here take birth, there's always the record of karma. No, we take birth based on our karma, but it does not happen for God like that. For God, it is all a different story. He just comes down here whenever it is needed. If you remember yada yada hi dharmasya, why God comes, why the Kalki avatar Shri Satya Sai has come, because humanity needed him, right? He has come to show us the right path. So for any incarnation of God, there's no track record of karma which happens, right? Because he is beyond that, no? He's beyond karma, he's beyond time. He just takes a form, come here and show us the right path. He decides the place and the time of his own incarnation, of course. We can't decide our parents, our time and all, but he can do that. God has always done that. He has chosen his time, his place of incarnation, his parents as well, right? So God coming here is what you call the Leela, the divine sport. The divine sport is the Leela of God, right? So the Sri Satya Sai incarnation, the Lord chose the Ratnakar family. Why did they choose the Ratnakar family? As I told you, it was a blessed family on account of purity, piety, and devotion of its members. The family members, they were all devoted to God, and especially to Narayan, Vishnu. Prior to the incarnation, Peda Venkama Raju and Ishwaramma, Peda Venkama Pavriye Sesu Papa, Peda Venkama Raju and Ishwaramma, the mother of God. They had one son and two daughters. Jitina and Gosno Chape Sheshamaraju, Venkama, and Parvatamma, the two daughters in the same order. Okay. So these are the brother and the sisters of Sri Satya Sai. And I believe there are no more. Maintenant, nous avons nephew here. Some years passed, après sa 3 enfants, some years passed, Ishwaramma, Mother Ishwaramma, wanted another son. So she practiced all the austerities needed. She did lots of prayers, and she became mother again. But the way she became mother was very unusual. It's not like normal conception. Okay. If nous get bien, almost all the incarnations which happened, their birth was always unusual, not like normal conception between the wife and the husband, not like that, right? So the same thing happened with Ishwaramma. So sometime prior to the birth of the new boy, Lakshmamma was the mother-in-law. She was engaged in the worship of Satya Narayana, that is of Vishnu. Then the Lord appeared in her dream and blessed her, okay, indicating that he would be born in her family. So Lakshmamma will see fair prayer, and in the dream, she had the vision of Satya Narayana, who said he will be born in her family. Then after that birth, Lakshmamma, that is the mother-in-law of Ishwaramma, Lakshmamma, alerted Ishwaramma that something might happen as such. And eventually, Ishwaramma experienced that. One day he was drawing water from the well, and then there was a kind of blue ball coming towards her. The blue ball went into her womb, into her, and when it went there, Ishwaramma fainted, right? Ishwaramma fainted. What happened at that time actually, c'était the Lord himself, that is the would-be born Sekipune, the Sri Satya Sai, entered the womb of the mother, right? And quand il est né, lui-même, il appelle Satya Narayan Raju. Petit Metsuno Satya Narayan, parce que they were devotees of Satya Narayan. Thus, the Lord was not begotten, but immaculately conceived, a bit like Jesus, was born to Virgin Mary. She was a virgin, yet she got the child. Yeah. Now, Satya Narayan was born like 23rd November 1926. I told you around 5 a.m. in the morning, 5 a.m. 5h02, right? And when he was born, there were many unusual incidents happened. I told you a bit earlier about the music to some. And also when he was born, dans ce cradle, dans ce berceau, right? there was also a snake which came. A snake, but everyone was scared about it. But of course, not the child. The child was divinity himself. He grew, he went to the primary school. So in the primary school, Satya helped clearly Satya instead of Satyanarayan. They were calling him Satya. So instead, he was always helping his classmates in many ways possible. Though he was from a very poor family, his family was poor, yes, Zopati rich, like, they worked, they earn a living so that they can get food for everyone in the family. So despite coming from such a modest, poor family, he did not hesitate to give away things he had. Means he learned, he had that sense of sharing, like he was giving away his clothes to any needy classmate. He never lost an opportunity to turn the minds of his friends towards God. In primary school, right? Singing devotional songs to start. He also formed a bhajan group so that they can sing bhajans, they can remember God in terms of doing devotion. Now, after primary, it was time to move to secondary, higher secondary school, but that was available. That school was only in Bukapatnam, the Puttaparthi Pachena Higher Secondary School. So he had to go to Bukapatnam, which was several kilometers to the north of Puttaparthi. When Satya, he was going to school at Bukapatnam, he would walk to school, right? In whatever the weather can be, in the muddy fields, walking there, he would go to school, right? Even in the Bukapatnam school, he was a model student, right? And he was always helpful again there. His preoccupation had been, even at school, to make students God conscious. Talking about God, he always had that spiritual inclination. He was also at that young age materializing gifts or vibhuti. Vibhuti, the ashes that we apply on the forehead. He was materializing that. Satya was an automatic choice for the class leader. Sikinapil, class captain to sa. Everyone loved him, that there's no who can vote sa. Okay. If he is in a particular class, he will be the class leader. But this brought its share of problems, right? His teacher asked the Satya to slap all the boys in the class for an infringement of this discipline. So the few boys did fair indiscipline in the class. As the class leader, Satya had to slap them. Okay. Now, instead of slapping hard as he was supposed to do, Satya just patted the cheeks. Patted meant tap de kutla me, like caring, loving someone to pat sisa. So Satya did that. And of course, the teacher won't be happy with it. So the teacher got angry and who then directed all his wrath, all his anger on Satya. On other students. He directed all that to Satya. Satya bore the punishment in silence, right? For him, it was like just a part of the drama scripted by him, right? It's just like a drama going on. In fact, it's all a drama going on in the world right now. We are all instruments. We are all artists here in the divine play of God, right? So Satya silently, he bore the punishment, right? On another occasion, the teacher handling a class period noticed that Satya was not writing down what he was dictating, while other students were writing down. When questioned, Satya replied that he was not taking down because he already knew the lesson. Okay. He was not noting parce qu'il y connaît. Interpreting this response as gross impertinence, the teacher asked Satya to stand up on a bench. Longtemps, c'est a kind of punishment là. I don't know if you have got such punishment. Zendebutlo says yellow bench, right? So it was a kind of punishment at school previously. So the teacher, since Satya said he need not to write because he knew that, the teacher told him to stand on the bench, and he stood on the bench, right? Et je ne trouvais qu'il arrivait là. The teacher was not able to get up from his chair. We'll see. Then the school bell rang, right? There will be the end of the period. It was time for another teacher to come. But the next teacher to come was Mehboob Khan. Mr. the teacher, Mehboob Khan. And Mehboob knew about Satya. Mehboob knew that Satya was divinity himself. He has heard about Satya. He knew him well. So when Mehboob Khan entered the class, he was surprised to see that Satya got a punishment and he was standing on the chair. So Mehboob Khan was trying to convince the teacher that Satya actually did not deserve such a punishment to some. Now the teacher had to go, as is a period infini, in other class. But he was not able to get up from the chair. He was stuck as if he was glued there. Right? And then Mehboob Khan understood what was the thing, what happened. Mehboob then asked Satya to get down from the bench. When he got down from the bench, the teacher who was sitting, who got stuck, he could get up from the chair, right? Then this was, maybe you can say, a divine play, Leela, right? Which Satyasai did, right? When he got up, then this teacher could get up from his chair, right? I continue. Around this time, Sheshama Raju, the brother of Satya, went to Kamalapuram to stay with his in-laws. So mother-in-law was staying in Kamalapuram. And Sheshama Raju, he became a teacher there in Kamalapuram. So since Kamalapuram had a good school, Sheshama Raju, the brother, said he will take Satya there so that he can continue his studies, because Kamalapuram is good for his studies. And Satya went there, no problem. And his brother wanted him to go to school and to become a great officer in the government. So Satya went to Kamalapuram now to continue his studies. He was living with the in-laws of his brother, right? But he was not only ill-treated there, but also called upon to perform arduous household duties. For example, carrying water from a long distance and all. Ça veut dire quelque part the in-laws, his brothers-in-laws, he peut dominer avec lui, right? So for example, he had to fetch water every day very far, right? And after that, he had to go to school. Et bien sûr, the body is that of a child, no? A young boy. So doing such work, ligament scars on his body. So in the Kamalapuram school, Satya was a great favorite of the drill master, who doubled also as the scout master. well, the scout community, tout ça, the cabin activities and all. So they had to go in the neighboring village called Pushpa Giri. The scout, the Tinapal Pushpa Giri. What to do there? To render service to people. Okay, les enfants, c'est à Pushpa Giri, to render service to people. And for that, the students needed to give a subscription of 10 rupees to be able to go, so that they can meet the expenses to the bus fare and all. But Satya was not in his home and he had no money, right? So Satya excused himself from joining the group. That is, he won't go with the group. But however, he promised the teacher, the scout master, that he will be there in Pushpa Giri for duty, to do service. He promised that, but he won't go with them in the bus. All his friends went in the bus, but Satya walked the entire distance, right? He walked the entire distance so that he could save money, because he don't have that 10 rupees, right? With the little money he had, he walked there, right? To be able to do service. He finally reached the Pushpa Giri, and of course he was very tired, but yet he went to do his duties, that is to help people there. And then before returning, he thought that he would buy some gift for the people at home. Bon, bien sûr, gift at those time, c'est gift on cents, no? And so they kind of, not like today. So when he returned, what greeted him was not appreciation for the gift, but severe punishment for his absence. Because when he was absent, he went to Pushpa Giri. There was no one to bring water. There was no one to do household work, right? So he thought good for the members of the family. He brought some gift for them, but they did not appreciate that. He was given punishment because he did not work for them. Much later, Swami revealed that he deliberately created painful situation for himself in order to teach the lesson of forbearance and equanimity. In des arrives de ça, I'm sure, pour faire bon point diminuer, mais c'est mon gain coup de pied. Non, tu dis ça, non? Pour faire bon pour toi-même, mais c'est mon de moi coup de pied. You have heard about, no? So it's always happened in life. You can't please everyone. You might be thinking that you are doing something good to someone, but for that person, it might not be important, the good thing that you are doing. So then how should we react? So this is a lesson of forbearance and equanimity. The person is reacting like that, let the person react like that. You do your duty, you believe in what you have to do or what you have done, right? This is what Swami, that is Satyanarayan, did. So despite the harsh treatment he got there, he never criticized his elder brother, that is Sheshamaraju, and even his sister-in-law. He never criticized. That is a great lesson to be learned, where people at times do bad for us, and we tend to criticize them to other people, which is not correct. Okay, so we learn this also from here. His teacher's training concluded. Sheshamaraju moved from Kamalapuram to Uravakonda. Sheshamaraju chal Kamalapuram pour le travail. Now he was shifted to Uravakonda, right? Where he was appointed as a Telugu teacher in a school. Et qui arrivait Satya aussi à l'ensemble. Pour ce frère et Satya par là-bas même. And he joined a school there again. So once again, there at school, he excelled in everything. People, his friends, classmates, everyone liked him. Tenant's a group of students who never liked him, of course, but he didn't care about that. He was not causing harm to them, right? So he continued his way like that. Good. This is for today. We have many more things to discuss.